Hello and welcome to Fantasy Premier League Animate. I'm your manager Oded and welcome to the only channel where Premier League players come alive and try to convince me why they should be on my team. With Double Game 24 and Double Game 25 coming soon, it's time again to look at the players that can make the most points for their double game or even one game in those double games weeks. Of course, not all of the teams will play 2 games in Double Game 24 or 25. So I put together 3 players from 8 different teams that can make the difference even if they play only once in each game week. The best players in my opinion to choose from. Some will use the rest of their chips like free hit or wildcard in game week 24, some like me may save it to game week 26 that can be more attractive for some teams. So let's see who are the best players for game week 24 and 25. And we'll start with Burnley. Nothing much to say about their offense skills, that is not why they're here. Burnley defense is well known in this campaign. It would be a surprise from a team that their current position in the table is third from last, but they concede in 23 matches only 29 goals. Only 6 teams concede less than them. Game week 24 and game week 25 should keep Burnley in a good defensive spot while they facing Crystal Palace away and Fulham at home in a double game week 24 and then on game week 25 facing West Brom. So for their games in those weeks it's perfect to use the chip because after game week 25 it's going to be a hard road for them. Peters didn't play almost at all in the first half of the season, but since he came to the starting 11 he guarded his place and played 90 minutes every game. He stands from the rest of Burnley defenders for his attempt to support the attack, which gave him a chance to deliver 2 assists in the last 4 games, and he is the cheapest option for a Burnley defender. Maybe the most improved goalkeeper beside Martinez this season is Nick Pope, with an amazing rate of almost 4 saves per game, which earn him a lot of save points. He also the only keeper with 5 games he gained double figures points and almost always take the 3 bonus points as well. It could be the perfect keeper for this game week. And Ben Mee is a senior defender in Burnley and he always had threat to hit a header from free corners or kicks with 2 goals already to his name. And against weak defense teams Burnley had to, it's likely to score once again. So in conclusion, Burnley will seem like the perfect pick for those who want to upgrade their defense for those game weeks. They can bring a lot of defensive points to the table. If defense is what you think when you hear the word Burnley, Leeds United are the right opposite, with great offensive skill but one of the worst defense teams in the league. In the best scenario for game week 24 and 25, where they will face Arsenal, Wolves and Southampton, 3 wins and they go all the way to the great position for the 5 or 7 seeds. They just need to score more than they conceive, of course. In the last few games, Dallas' position changed from the right defender to the right winger, which allow him to support a lot more in Leeds' effort to score and still be able to gain points as a defender. Double Game 25 is a great opportunity to take him and a chance for a clean sheet and extra points in the offense as well. With 12 goals and 8 assists, Bamford is leaving his mark in this season. His recent form in the last few games makes him a great and cheap pick for games to come. He is a lot more involved and will get the space he needs to keep going, especially in game week 25. I was considered to put Raphinha here, but to be honest I just like Harrison game more. 3 goals in the last 4 games, Harrison looked great and very active. You can see it in the recent game against Palace, the man was everywhere and always in attack mood. Game 24 against Arsenal, Leeds may find it hard to score, but I put my chip for them in Double Game 25. Until game week 13, Manchester City didn't seem like the team that ruled English football in the last few seasons, but something has changed since then with a brick defense and players that rise when the key players are injured. They found their killer instinct again. They will play twice in game week 24, 2 hard games against Tottenham at home and Everton away. Both teams with a shaky defense but offense who can sting very fast. On game week 25 they will face Arsenal away. With the form that they are in, won't be a wonder if they win them all. With Pep rotation you can never be sure which defender is gonna play, but against tricky Spurs and Everton it's pretty sure Cancelo will be one of them. Stones and Diaz seems like a sure thing as well, but the way Cancelo plays and the endless support he brings to the Manchester City offense is the obvious choice. Until game week 13, Gundogan played only 5 games, one as a sub. But since then he became the MVP of Manchester City team with almost 1 goal per game. I think he even surprised himself. Without any natural striker, he took the job to score and navigate Manchester City. De Bruyne who? I thought about putting Sterling here, but after his performance against Liverpool, Foden should get more credit. I think this game gave him a lot of confidence and maybe gave Guardiola too to start with him in every game and stop benching from time to time. Which Manchester player will shoot to start, no one knows. But with their fixtures Manchester City have and the form that they are having, you must have even one of them. Everton may found their rhythm in the 3-3 draw against Manchester United. With all the key players finally have some full games to play together, Everton can be the black sheep to the rest of this campaign. They will have 2 games in game week 24 and 1 in 25, starting with Fulham at home and then 2 very hard games against Manchester City and beating up Liverpool. Luka Dean is the running engine from the back with 7 assists so far. He was injured for a long period of time. He can keep the clean sheet against Fulham, but Everton concede goal almost in every game, so against Manchester City even 1 or 2 points he may gain is still points. Rodriguez is another player who likes to get injured and is so important to Everton. With him in, Everton game flows smoother and he activates other players in the best way. You just need to keep safe and avoid injury. Calvert-Lewin started this season great, then got cold and injured, but he seems to get back in his form with 2 goals and assists in the last 2 games. He could sure sneak a goal or 2 in those 3 games ahead of him. Everton will likely to bring the big points against Fulham. It can be wise to bring Everton players even if they play Manchester City's next. Every point counts and you never know how the game will end. 12 goals in the 2 games is what Manchester United had in game week 22 and 23. Look impressive, but against nice Southampton players and 3 goals conceded against Everton showed Manchester United defense is not all that it cracked out to be. But on the bright side, they have such an easy games on paper in game week 24 and 25. Start with West Brom away and then Newcastle at home, both teams that like to concede a lot of goals. Wan-Bissaka became the major defender in this team, not because he is a great defender, but his recent games we play closer to the opponent box and managed to score and assist in recent games. With these 2 games ahead, he can manage to keep clean sheet as well. I have nothing more to say about that man. Only thing I can say, if he is not going to rest after the FA Cup, captain him again and again. Rashford calmed down a little bit in the last few games. Maybe now that Pogba is injured, he will take more on himself and produce more. 8 goals and 7 assists is great, he can do better. These 2 matches for Manchester United to take. They need to be in a good spot after this game in the table before meeting Chelsea and Manchester City next. The big problem with West Ham is that you don't know which team you're gonna get. The one that defeat Aston Villa 3-1 or the one who had a nil draw against Fulham. I don't put much trust in their defense, but they have 1 game on game week 24 against Sheffield United that should bring the best of them, and a hard one a week after against Tottenham. Antonio right now playing just great. Didn't score for 4 games, but he make up for it with few assists and a lot of effort in the box that release other players. I'm just hoping he will fit to play 2 games in almost 1 week. Good thing he didn't play in the FA Cup. Cresswell is one of my favorite players. He had 8 assists so far, most of any defender, and plays strong defense as well. Most of the goals West Ham conceive are not coming from his end. He should be the right pick for at least game week 24. With the red card overruled, Susak will play the next matches, and with 8 goals already in the campaign he can be the right choice to gain more against Sheffield United and even Tottenham. For those who will use the free hit on game week 24, these players can make the difference, cause the next 4 games West Ham will have will be very hard for them to gain a lot of points. It seems that all the parts of Aston Villa team is clicking right now. Strong defense, fast midfielders and striker in a row right now. They also have 1 game in each game week, starting with hard knock Brighton away and a much harder game against Leicester at home. But they also won their previous game against Leicester away 1-0, so you never know. Is Martinez most improved player so far? Last year he hardly played in Arsenal and now he's blooming and keep Villa goal locked most of the games with 11 clean sheet and 3.2 saves per game. He brings the points from all over. Grealish might not score too much, but you can't take away from him what he brings every single game with his fast break and passer that always get to the right man. 12 assists in the middle of the season is almost twice as much from the last season. He improved so much and make all the other players better. Same thing for this guy who have low price tag but with 10 goals and 5 assists already. He's on fire, 4 goals in the last 5 games and he's looking more sharp after mid-season weakness. After Leicester game, Aston Villa will have good fixture with middle and low table teams, so it could be a good advancement. With the new management, Chelsea looking better in defense with 3 wins and 1 draw, conceding only 1 goal. The problem is that there is no solid starting 11 yet, so can only guess which players will start for sure in the next few games. They will face Newcastle at home, maybe without Wilson still, and then Southampton away, a nice chance to gain 2 wins and continue their momentum. Chilwell was a guaranteed starter before the new manager, but in the last 4 games he started only twice and didn't finish even 90 minutes. He's still a defender attacker in Chelsea defense. The only question is, will he play in what position? The right defender or the right midfield like the last game? I know, what is this guy doing here? He didn't score since game week 8, but he showed much improved since the new coach arrived and seemed a lot more passion with 3 assists in the last 2 games. If he will find the net and break the spell, maybe at last we will see why Chelsea pay for him so much. So I keep my finger crossed for him. Another player that shine now since the new coach arrived is this player. He seems to be the only one who is sure thing to open in each game. So with the game ahead, maybe it's a good idea to put him on your defense team. These 2 games is a great chance for Chelsea to boost their confidence of some of their players and run forward before facing Manchester United in game week 26. So those are the players that I think will make the change in game week 24 and 25. You can choose 1, 2 or 3 of them. You can use your chips now on game week 26, but always look forward to games ahead and try to decide which ones can contribute the most in the long run. So I hope you enjoyed this video, it made you smile. Much more to come in the future, so if you want to keep up, please hit the subscribe button and press like. And I will sure love to hear what you think I should animate next to get funnier videos for you and what should be improved in my videos as well. Do well and good luck to everyone.